Welcome back to BarrelNGrain. Tonight, we got a little something special. We got what some called was the best world whiskey of the year by some YouTubers, and supposedly one of the best Irish whiskeys that are out there. So this is Blue Spot. Well, stick around. We're going to try out this whiskey. Welcome back. So Blue Spot, 7 years old, comes in at 58.9%, 117.8 proof. This here is by far the strongest Irish whiskey that I personally own. This is also part of the whole Spot series. So as you can probably see behind me, the green, yellow, gold, blue, and the only one I'm really out trying to hunt for lately is the red. But blue has got a lot of feedback of being really great. There's a lot of people that said this is a fantastic Irish whiskey and one of the best Spot's whiskeys out there. So on that note, let's give this sucker a try. Alright. And you can see how they all, every blue spot and every yellow spot and every gold and green all have a significant difference. So far, my personal preference, my favorite so far has been the yellow. The gold spot, I actually really enjoyed. There's a lot going on, but almost to the point there's so much going on that it becomes not relevant tasting notes. But don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic whiskey. So on that note, let's see what we got tonight. So this is a fresh crack. The only thing bad about fresh cracks I've noticed over the time is they take a little bit to open up. But right at the gate, you can definitely get the notes of a fruity Irish whiskey. And it has that pear, a little bit of that apple, that ripe green apple, almost like a Granny Smith. Maybe a little baked apple. Overall, the nose is very pleasant. And the ethanol for 117 does not hit you really strong. I mean, you can kind of get your nose in the glass and not be really worried about burning your nostrils. So, let's see what we got. Woo! That is 117 proof, and being for the first drink of the day, it's absolutely 117 proof. Overall, the legs are really well in this thing. You can see it really does coat the glass pretty well. So my first note was I definitely got a little bit of the apple note. Kind of waiting for my mouth to kind of adjust a little bit because obviously I got hit with the alcohol right at the gate. But I really feel like this sucker's going to open up when I ever get to it. Oh yeah. There's almost a little bit of like baking spice. Like you kind of get some of the bourbons. Not really quite what I was expecting. But the fruit, the spices there. The smell of the ethanol is kind of sweet. It's not a harsh smell. Definitely there. I do get a little bit of oak, but Blue Spot, it's only 7 years old. So the oak profile is not really heavy on this, but you do get a little bit on here. And on this, on their nose, this is what they list. Is a light mix of pineapple, kiwi, green apple, lime zest, followed by pot still spices, baked apple, hazelnut, and toasted wood. Look at that. Not too bad for myself, if I do say so. So the light mix of the pineapple, I can kind of see maybe a little bit, especially on the nose, probably more than the palate. The kiwi I can see mixed in there. I kind of get more of the baked apple. I do get the spices, which I was actually surprised I really picked up on this because you do get the spices on it. And the toasted wood. So this is in a toasted barrel, which I guess is a little bit different than usual. It says matured for at least 7 years in a bourbon barrels, sherry butts, Portuguese Madeira cask. Wow, so this is really special. So this has got 3 different casks that it's been in. I did not realize there was that many. I guess because actually I've got this and it's kind of been sitting on my shelf, and I'm kind of waiting towards the Irish holidays again to crack one open. The cracked black pepper is definitely there, which it says it's on the taste. You do get that. It says clove oil, which I've never really actually had clove oil, so I can't really tell what clove oil tastes like. But the more I sip on this, the sweeter this actually starts to become. Overall, this is not really quite what I kind of expected out of an Irish whiskey. And the yellow spot, definitely more fruit forward. The gold is a mix of everything. The blue almost kind of leans more towards you'd expect of like a bourbon. With the spices, the baked apple is in there, a toasted wood. This really could be a great transfer from being a bourbon person right into Irish. Irish is definitely my second favorite whiskey compared to bourbon. Lasting distinct, and it does actually linger around a little bit in your mouth. The mouth feels pretty decent. Yeah, so overall, I continue to still feel the finish on this. The finish is actually great in this one. Because of that high proof, finish lasts a lot longer than the yellow. This might be my favorite spot up to date. Maybe they're right. Maybe the rest of the people are right. However, I do say this is a great pour. The yellow spot, definitely more fruit forward if you're more into fruit. This is definitely leans more towards the bourbon land, where basically the spices are there, the wood oak's there, the baked apple is there. I'm really surprised with the spices. The spices are really present. That could be because this is 170 proof, and the flavor profile really comes alive from it. Overall, this is actually pretty fantastic. There's a lot of flavor. There's a lot going on. The mouth feels good. The finish is good. The finish is medium to long, especially for an Irish whiskey, because usually Irish whiskeys not come in at this type of proof. Usually 90. I've seen them 80s. That's kind of their wheelhouse. Overall, this is really great. So, on that note, that's my review for the Blue Spot. If you do get to see these sitting around on shelves and you get the opportunity to buy one and you are a whiskey, at least an Irish whiskey fan, I would definitely pick one of these up because this is a great Irish whiskey. And if you're into bourbon, bourbon's your thing, and we're in America, bourbon's primarily the main whiskey drink, you really might want to try this out. This is a great transfer from one to the other. It really has the same kind of notes going on, and the proof really brings that alive. So, on that note, like, comment, subscribe, and until then, keep hunting.